you know where like the cleavage is, where like the boobs touch, or supposed to touch?
No, I've never touched a woman.
Cat Everfrost used knockdown fight hit. There goes a 5-man shield there. Berserk's going to get caught up in the baby cage. There's going to be a 3-man shockwave in the backline with a big huge face breaker. That's going to be a showstopper right there. That's
Can't get slowed when he was in Pike's E. That's too soon, that's too soon. Nice. Okay. Okay then. I'm gonna try to get you the penta on him. You have one more? You can't die with him. It's gonna get dog.
Can go. I mean, I have flash in a second.
Oh my god!
He teleports on the side of CCW. They might try to go for a pick here. Fox Prime has to be careful. Doesn't know they're all there. This could be the pick they want, but you have to be careful as well, though. They're going to burst him down. Fox Prime dies before anyone else can go in. They don't get the second call of the force shot, and here we go. Here comes the Vlad. Keep an eye on the Vlad. Vlad on the back line. There's a double knockout. Keep an eye on the Vlad. Vlad gets one of them. Vlad's able to get two of them on Vlad. He's going to survive on the back end of it, but they're going to be able to kill the Anivia, and there's two dead on the side of CCW. Can they get more? There's the Vlad. Can they get the knockup on Asthmatic Boy? Can he get the blast kill? No, he can't. He's going to fall incredibly low. They're going to keep going in. Team Shooter is going to be able to get the root. They're going to try to find more. They're going to find everyone. But there's the kill. Unbound. He's doing it all. Unbound doing it all. Give it out. Unbound.
Hello. Welcome to the first week of Unstoppable. We are your hosts. I am Meeps. This is King. And today is going to be a match between KNP and Neon Knights. Looking into it, I think it's going to be one-sided because KNP is a second seed, Neon Knights a 20th seed. What do you think, King?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty much David versus Goliath to start, which is maybe not, predictions only and seeding only means so much when it comes to, OP.GGs and stuff like that. So it's going to just come down to how the teams play and how well they're working as a team.
Yeah, I agree. So looking at the teams, last week, whenever we did play-ins, we did see Neon Knights play. They played against Voidlands, and they did win that game pretty heavily, whatever you want to say. I can't speak today, but I think going into the actual first week of the league, I think they're gonna have a very, very hard time going against better teams, especially as KNP second seed, very high ranked into the Unstoppable.
Yeah. I definitely think that Neon, obviously they're a team that had to play the play-ins to get their spot. That just means they're considered one of the lower teams going into this, this Unstoppable League. But, as it is, like any day, anybody can win as you just have good draft. And if you have good team play, then that's really what matters.
Exactly. Looking at all the players, I do see that the KNP, they do have a Hecarim main, and he kind of only plays Hecarim. So if that does get banned out, what do you think KNP is going to go towards?
I saw a lot of Udyr in his champ pool. I think he just plays a lot of carry junglers. It looks like the way their team dynamic works is they have a island top lane, as top lane is. You have island, and then you have your carry jungle with your carry AD carry who plays like those hyperscaling AD carries, with your mid playing more of that supportive role to further incentivize your jungler and your AD carry. So that's probably the playstyle we're going to see is that kind of just, empowering jungle and empowering AD carry, which are the two best roles in the game right now. So it makes sense.
Exactly. And then going back to my question I had last week, I like to repeat the questions.
Yep.
If there was one weird pick that comes out of the draft, what do you think it's going to be?
I think it's Rakan, just because I don't think Rakan is super meta, but he is something that is played a lot by the support of Vexrack. So I think it's a champ that could be seen play just because it offers additional engage. When you're playing top laners like Cassante or Gnar, you might be looking for that additional engage with like the Rakan. So that's what I'm thinking for right now. How about yourself?
Oh, okay, well, apparently draft has started, so we will be going to that. Thank you. Have fun watching the game, and we'll be back after draft.
So I think we are moving into the draft here. I think my co-anchor is a little bit muted right now. Bickle, once you get that sorted out, we can get you back in here. But welcome to KNP versus Neon Knights, 2nd seed versus 20 seed. Bickle, are you with us?
I am here now. Thank you for letting me know I was muted during that. That's only a little awkward. But yeah, heading into Neon Knights taking on KNP. Something to note, KNP will be running with a sub-jungler. They will be losing a ban because of this. Big Bad Bone Dad is in the jungle today.
Okay, so Big Bad Bone Dad, that is KNP. So Hopium is getting swapped out, the Hecarim main, I believe?
I believe so. That seems to be the case.
So that's a little bit of a weight off of NK's shoulders. They have a little bit of more breathing room in this draft. Seeing as they are definitely not favored in this matchup, but we already seeing Akshan ban coming out, Silas ban, Ornn ban, Elise and Udyr. So jungle bans coming out against NK. They're trying to maybe soften up the jungle here for this substitute jungler to maybe make some action happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Udyr and Elise both being targeted towards SD Argo, trying to target that pool a little bit. Elise really strong at that early ganking style, where Udyr, even with the recent nerfs to Demonic Embrace, has just been so strong overall. But Neon Knight's going to open this up right away with the man in the top lane, the newest addition to Summoner's Rift, K'Sante.
Yeah, K'Sante's been big stocks right now. If you've watched any NALCS, he's been picked like almost every single game, picked or banned. Just immense threat, does a ton of damage, brings CC, is a big, huge bruiser tank. Just a little bit overtuned, some might say. And the response from KMP
Only
seems to be Xayah. Just a little bit. I'd love to see Xayah Rakan here. I think that'd be a great answer. Oh, Gwen is great too.
I like this as a response to the K'Sante right now, because K'Sante's main build at the moment focuses down that Frostfire Gauntlet build, but Gwen bringing in that AP damage kind of negates the fact that he has all that armor to build up naturally, and the fact that she brings a lot of mobility to the table. K'Sante really relies on ghosts sometimes to be able to run people down. Gwen brings a good counter to that, but like you mentioned, we do see that the Xayah picked up as the AD carry for KNP. The Marksman ADC changes have come in. We are on the B patch, so that means Navori and IE are available as second items.
So Navori Quickblade's really great stuff there for Xayah. Reducing your cooldown on your crits, I believe, or is it just auto attacks after a certain crit threshold? And you also get additional damage based on your crit chance. So that's all stuff that Xayah loves to have. Severe, of course, going to be locked in on the other side here. It looks like teamfight comp versus teamfight comp with a potential split push option here for KNP with the Gwen. I believe Gwen's probably going to do fairly well against the K'Sante. Tank shredding, like you said, that AP build that's going to ignore a lot of the armor. But what is the last pickup? I'm expecting to see a support pick here. Probably something... Oh, engage in the
got a jungle.
Sejuani.
Sejuani
like
been one of those premier tanks in the jungle at the moment. Kind of been substituting between the Sejuani, Wukong, and the Vi as of late. But it looks like KNP gonna change it up a little bit, bring in the Warwick, likely heading into that jungle for Big Bad Bone Dad.
Yeah, Jungle Dominance here is the name of the game here for KNP. The Warwick is a great answer to the Sejuani in terms of the early to mid game. When it comes to late game team fights, he's not going to be able to offer as much, not quite as much hard CC and engage, but in terms of raw dueling power and potential to set the Sejuani back, that's a big thing to watch out for here in the jungle.
Absolutely, and with those picks being locked in for the jungle, that means both teams are looking to target down this support pool now. We see KNP getting rid of the disengage with the Janna, and Neon Knights targeting, as you mentioned, that Xayah Rakan pairing as they're hovering their con ban right now, and that is locked in.
I'm not a huge fan of the Janna ban here. I don't think it does a whole lot for their composition. They're looking like more like a team fight comp. Janna like offers great peel and disengage, but I like to see Janna more in like 1-3s where you can like just disengage in the mid. There's no like crazy dive that a Janna would necessarily be warranted for that KNP are showing right now, but potentially that is hinting that we want to pick an assassin, we want to pick a dive champion here. And then Vex is going to be the other ban, splitting the fields a little bit, hedging their bets into both the support and the mid lane. And Rakan, of course, Vexrak's been playing quite a bit of Rakan, is known for that champion, is known to play a lot of catch champions, so like Leona Rakan and Renata Glask. And look, here we go. There's the Leona. The Renata Glass gets banned out. So that's going to be Vexbox on the Leona. Pretty standard, great engage, catch, and also team fighting there.
Absolutely. Really going to be looking at the catch potential with that Leona there. His two other main picks in the recon were taken away, so it feels like heading in that Leona direction for the pick potential is what we expected. And it looks like Neon Knight's going to respond there, trying to level up the spell shields almost a little bit more, having that Black Shield of Morgana now available, trying to prevent the picks that KNP is really going to be going for.
I love the Morgana pick here. I think that's a very intelligent choice. They kind of force them into picking Leona, and then grabbing the Morgana, which is a pretty decent counter to the Leona. So bot lane's gonna have a pretty good matchup here. Xayah, Leona versus Morgana Severe. It's a pretty solid matchup. I don't think either side is a clear winner there. They both have great wave clear, and then the supports kind of even each other out. Leona wants to go in, Morgana says no, and so we kind of end up in this stalemate in the bot lane. Akali is the pickup though in the mid lane. Gran Torino. Yeah, it is Gran Torino going to be on that Akali.
I think it's
crazy.
Hexify. I think you're on the wrong side.
Am I on the wrong side? I'm on the wrong side. So that's Hexify on the Akali. Control Mage is going to be the response here from Gran Torino. With the Anivia, all in all, pretty solid. I think that the mid lane is going to be the lane to watch here.
Absolutely. Hexify on that Akali is really going to be looking to scale themselves up and get that damage. They're going to be the one responsible to getting into this backline to deal with the Xayah, to deal with the Anivia. Because Sivir is just going to be ricocheting through the entire team. Akali's going to be the one trying to dive in there.
You know, and I would have preferred a control mage here from NK, just because they've already drafted this great team fighting composition for the most part. They've got two sources of engage, a great support in Morgana, and even like a support mid like a Karma, that's like super spicy if you want to put all of your eggs into your ADC basket. But if you pick a control mage, something like a Syndra, Orianna is even great there. Just something that offers utility while also controlling space, then you can just straight up team fight. Now, when you draft this Akali, Hexify is basically saying, I'm going to pop off on this Akali, I'm going to get super far ahead, I'm going to be able to blow people up. But you have to run through an Anivia, you have to run through a Xayah. Xayah just presses R when you enter the backline, also Leona's going to be peeling that. So it can be very, very difficult for you to actually get any meaningful work here done, unless you are very, very far ahead. So I think the mid lane is where we're going to see NK might be faltering a little bit.
Absolutely. Like you mentioned, the rest of that comp really fits as a nice front-to-back style, but we do have that Akali looking more at that dive to try and get into KNP's backline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're going to have to be fed enough to be able to one-shot a Xayah that's going to be pressing R as soon as you jump back. So that's going to be the main point. I'm trying to think of, like, what are the avenues to where you get that level of fed? And it's really, like, the top lane, maybe? Like, Cassante, Akali fighting Gwen, Anivia can't really roam, so maybe you can get some, like, she's gonna keep you pushed in, and when she hits post 6, you're not gonna be able to push on her. And even before 6, she has the range advantage in that matchup, so it can be very, very difficult to get the freedom to make those kinds of roams to get fed, because you're not really gonna be killing an Anivia in your lane unless you are, like, skill gapping her super, super hard. So I just don't know where's the opportunity for the Akali here. That's for Neon Knights to discover, to figure that one out. That's the draft mystery here for them. But do you have any predictions here? Anything for me, Pickle?
Looking at the comps, until that Akali, I was really a big fan of what Neon Knights had going together. I think it would have rounded out really nicely if you mentioned something like a control mage style. If they had rounded that out with, say, a Victor, I think it would have been phenomenal for them. But overall, based partly on pre-game expectations, as we mentioned, high seed versus low seed, and I think a lot of comfort coming in for KNP, I'm going to have to head in their direction.
Yeah, I'm also going to hand it over to KNP. The draft was looking to be something of a competitive draft, but I think the Akali pick really kind of is a bit of a kneecap there. Now, I could be eating my words. Hexify could be the greatest Akali who's ever lived and is absolutely going to pop off in this game and prove us all wrong, send himself straight into the highlight reels in the Hall of Fame. But that's the kind of performance that we're going to need to see from the 20th seed if they want to beat KNP at the 2nd seed here, because the chips are stacked up against them right now. Jungle matchup favors them in the early game. Scaling favors them with the Xayah and the Anivia in the late game. Gwen has the opportunity to split push. They could potentially do a 1-3-1 Anivia, Leona, Xayah. That's a great 3. Warwick, if he gets fed enough, he can head off to a side lane. Gwen wants to be in a side lane. So we're looking at either a 4-1 comp or a 1-3-1 composition. Either way, KNP have options. Whereas NK, they basically say, is my Akali fed? Okay, we have a chance. Is my Akali not fed?
we're in trouble.
we're in a lot of trouble. So the onus is on them to really make a lot of this happen.
Absolutely, and K&P brings a lot to the table. As you mentioned, they have engaged, they have disengaged, they have peel, they have side laning. Whatever they're really looking for, they have options available through a really versatile and well-rounded comp. I think the Gwen and the Cassante is a really good response to such an early, strong power pick. And if the Gwen works out, that means they already have that strong draft advantage going forward.
And correct me if I'm wrong here, Pickle, but I believe this is week 1 of Unstoppable?
This is indeed week 1 of Unstoppable. We
So week 1 of
did
Unstoppable.
see Neon Knights already in the play-ins,
Mhm.
but this is our first time seeing K&P.
Well, we have seen KNP in the Risen Esports circuit before. Gran Torino and Vexrax have been on multiple iterations of this team. They've kind of come back. They're perennial team here with Risen, but this is the first time that we've seen them in this form. So NK, if they can pull out a win here, that's going to set their season up great. But otherwise, it's looking pretty par for the course. KNP, it's an uphill battle for Neon Knights. Let's see if they can make it happen. Let's see if that Akali can pop off.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to throw up before we head out on to our spectator delay break?
Hexify proved me wrong.
Fingers crossed. All right,
Fingers
we're going to head
crossed.
to the small break right here. When we come back, we got game number 1 between Neon Knights and K&P. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our first game of our best of 3. We have K&P taking on Neon Knights. Neon Knights here on the blue side, taking on K&P on the red. I am once again joined by Mike. We are getting right into this game, and everything seems to be going out rather as expected. We do see TPs across the board for all of our solo laners.
A little bit of an encroachment here from the red side, which is going to be K&P. Going to get rooted up a little bit, but otherwise not too much action going on. Otherwise a standard start. It's going to get mirrored on the other side here from NK. NK, if you're just joining us, being the 20th seed, whereas red side is the 2nd seed. So we are expecting something of a one-sided game. And if draft tells us anything, it's all on Hexify. It's all on the mid lane. So what can you show us, Hexify? Can you prove that you deserve to move up the ranks?
Show us what you're made of, Hexify. This game really feels like it's going to be on that.
Yeah, absolutely. If this Akali can show up, can show out, we could see a more competitive game, but we are seeing a lot of pings right now. All over the place.
Everybody pinging!
But it's going to be an early invade here. NK going for the invade.
Absolutely. And I don't believe they have any vision on that, so I think it's just going to be a free take. The question is, does Big Bad Bone Dad decide to stick to his just top to bot to top pathing, or does he go for the invade himself?
So he's also, it's worth noting that he is currently subbed in, so he's not their starting jungler. So this might throw him off kilter a little bit. Usually when you bring in a sub, you're kind of like, hey, play pretty standard, don't do anything super, super crazy. So it could very well be that they're just trying to take advantage of the fact that we have a substitute here. But yeah, there's no worries. He's going to walk over, find his red completely gone. Sejuani's going to have full topside control, potentially trying to bring Albi Bach up into relevance here in this early game. But trades are already moving pretty solidly in the top lane.
Absolutely. I'll be back really making use of the fact that with those on Tofo strikes, he gets the bonus max health damage on his next auto attack, just winning those trades, getting the bonus field off the footwork. But good snip there to just poke out and deal a bit of magic damage there to I'll be back.
Yeah, the percent HP damage and the snip, the fact that you can start scaling up that damage really, really early is just pretty brutal stuff. Fares so well into tanks. Gwen is just a menace in the top lane sometimes. It just seems like it can get out of control very, very quickly, especially once the lifesteal and AP start stacking up. Once that Rift,
these are two tanks, well, not really tanks, two top laners that as they get items become even harder to deal with. 4,000 IQ, when they get into those AP items, it's just going to be able to shred through just about anybody and sustain through thanks to some lifesteal.
Yeah, CS is looking pretty solid all around. I mean, Hexify in the melee versus range matchup, able to keep up in CS right now. Of course, wave is crashing, so Gran Torino has a chance to cash in here in a second.
Zenithblade goes short there.
They want it. I don't know if they actually want that. But
not sure they do want it, like you said there. Crazy Dog stepping up. We do see an engage there. Dark Binding lands, forces out the cleanse and the flash, or else SD Argo is going to be able to follow up with that Arctic Assault.
Flash and cleanse early on, great stuff. That's how you want to start the game. NK. Oh, a little action in the mid lane.
Flip there with that 5-point strike. And the Assassin's Mark autos coming in.
So we got a little bit of action going on in both the mid lane and the bot lane, and it's not quite over just yet. Big Bad Bone Dad looking to maybe make something happen. He's very angry that his red buff is gone. So now he's looking towards Hexify. But that creates a lot of space and pressure here in the bot lane for NK. Critical Nugs and Crazy Dog feeling really good about that one. A flashless AD carry in Arcadius is huge. It really limits the engage opportunities that Vexrack and Arcadius have in the spot lane.
Absolutely. Critical Nugs just going to be doing their best to shove this wave under. Shuriken flipped in for a bit of extra damage. No response with that Flash Frost. So just going to be some extra damage. There is the Zenith Blade in. Black Shield immediately out prevents the Shield of Daybreak follow-up.
I think that was a little playing too scared there. There's no flash in the ADC. ADC super far behind. I think they could have gotten a few more autos on the Vexrack.
Off the Blade Caller. There is the spell shield available for Sivir, means there is no damage fall. Heal comes out just to be safe.
Oh, Hexify, no way!
Shuriken flip pops the egg under tower. I think Hexify heard us talking.
He absolutely did. He's already popped the egg. So that's great. That's exactly where Hexify wants to be. Solo popping the egg. That means the potential for a solo kill is still existence, but Gran Torino does get the full HP reset. Now, in the bot lane, I do want to talk about the bot lane matchup here. Arcadius and Vexrax kind of bullying out Critical Nugs and Crazy Dog. Even though they're down summoners, they're still making action happen. Vexrax still going in.
Goes in under tower. There's there's the Dark Shield alongside the Spell Shield just to interrupt that back. But mid lane, SD Argo comes in, gets the Frostbite stun. Just going to walk it out. The flash was burned there by Gran Torino earlier on that all-in by Hexify, but SD Argo just going to help Hexify shove in this wave, it feels like.
Yeah, and Big Bad Bone Dad does show up, make sure nothing funny happens under the tower there. So it is going to be a walk away from Gran Torino. It's going to leave with his life. Unfortunately, his flash, like you said, is gone, and his teleport is going to have to get expended to catch this wave. But we've got action in the bot and mid lane, top lane, just straight up trades. No huge CS differentials that have appeared just yet. So even though the trades aren't really going the way of NK here in the bot lane, they are managing to keep up in CS, making it happen. But they should have a strong advantage. They should have a bigger advantage with those summoner spells gone. They should be able to take a little bit more aggressive trades. They have to be, be respectful, but don't be scared. Sure, you're up against the second seed, but you're not going to win the game by letting them just play a better macro. You've got to take
4,000 IQ just doing their best to cull this wave at the moment. There's a dash in. There's the all-out in. Dashes in with the Pathmaker, but there's the Needle Work and the Conqueror. The snip. First blood to 4,000 IQ.
4,000 IQ deletes. I'll be back in quick fashion with just a Doran blade to her name. Destruction in the top lane. Solo kill going over to Gwen. That is huge. That's going to tip the scales. And a nice 20 CS lead to boot.
Absolutely, and that was an all-in that I'll Be Back went for. They popped the all-out to initiate that fight. But 4,000 IQ with the fully stacked Snip alongside the Needlework, got the Conqueror, had the Ignite, and was just able to win that without any worries in the world. Coming back now with that Leeching Leer in the lane.
And a Blasting Wand. Oh, that's dirty. Roofmaker's going to be coming super soon. 4,000 IQ, exactly where you want to be. Teleports do get traded out in the top lane, though. So that is going to be absolutely fine, but not so fine if you are I'll Be Back, because 4,000 IQ is looking terrifying. Hexify is going to get a rotation here, though, potentially, but SD Argo, raiding the river, can stop it.
Dragon's out on that stun of the Frost Flash, but like you mentioned, we do have that Dragon started up by the side of KNP right now, but there is a rotation. This is going to be a possible fight. Ignite just comes out, dashes in with the Arctic Assault. They're just forcing KNP out. We see Hexify with the early rotation. Gran Torino is still mid, which means this is a free dragon for the side of Neon Knights.
Yeah, they get bullied out a little bit there. It could have been a lot worse if Crazy Dog had landed the initial Q, but at the end of the day, it is just a dragon that is given over to NK. Great lead. Arcadius not wanting to fight without his flash. They say, let's just let it go. Crazy Dog missed the Q. Let's not lose any more. And they just walked that one out. There were no level 6s. SD Argo just now getting level 6 off of the Dragon kill. If SD Argo had that level 6, could have forced an engage, could have been pretty deadly. Nice Q landing over here in the bot lane, but other than that, not a whole lot going on.
Yeah, no Fallout going to be available off that Dark Binding. Just going to be a bit of poke alongside that Tormented Soil. Getting a little bit of healing and a little bit of poke out. That's all you can really hope for right now. Ultimates are back up for everybody across the board. Level 6s not yet hit by most of the bot laners. Only available to Arcadius on the Xayah.
Yeah, I'll be back. You need to be really careful in this lane. The wave is stacking up here on 4,000 IQ, but it's going to get thinned out here. So you are on the push, but in the top side already, Big Bad Bone Dad smells the push coming. 4,000 IQ tending to the wave, keeping it nice and slow, pushing in. There's a gang set up here. Oh, all in Patak.
Just going to dash away with the footwork. But in comes the Needlework. There's 3, there's 5. He's down.
The aim is on point. 4,000 IQ Lenny, but Hexify in the mid lane.
Shuriken Flip goes in, but Vexrex is in the area. Lands the Zenith Blade into the Shield of Daybreak. Perfect execution over the wall. Just trying to get out. The Ignite has been popped. Meanwhile, they're going in bot side. But look who's here. It's Big Bad Bone Dad coming in. The Crystallized Stun lands off that Flash Frost. Big Bad Bone Dad picks up the kill.
And now we are seeing why K and P are the first seed right now. They are just going to town in multiple lanes. Hexify biting off a little bit more than he can chew. The egg was already back up, so the most that he was hoping for there was an egg, but Vexrax was already on the rotation. He wanted to get that Rift Herald, but seeing Hexify go in at the most unopportune time, unfortunately, he does get caught out, gets picked off, and killed 3 members who were looking for the Rift Herald. They get dinner and a show in the form of Hexify, free meals, so to speak. as the gold lead begins to balloon. We're looking at almost 3K right now here on the side of KNP.
Yeah, Vextrax made a great rotation there, allowed them to be there and land that CC onto Hexify to help Gran Torino and Big Bad Bone Dad out to get those early kills in that fight onto the Akali.
Yeah, and the solo kill going over the top lane, it's looking pretty brutal right now. 4,000 IQ looking to be a very big side lane threat this game. Nobody's going to be able to answer this man. We're going to need some kind of gank, potentially, to try and equalize this golden Este Argo. Hears me through the cast and is already on his way up. But
he does have the finished Rift Maker, though, so this could be tough.
Yeah, this could be
4,000
brutal.
IQ's going in, knockback off the Pathmaker. In comes SD Argo, gets the Permafrost stun. Needlework is not yet there, but pops the Hallowed Mist. A little... I'll be back running away, but look what's up now. It is the Needlework. There's the first cast. Second cast flashed away from. He's going to take both of them here. There's the auto dash in with the skip and slash, and the last cast of the Needlework will take down. I'll be back. That's a 2v1 topside for 4,000 IQ. You said gank him, you said send him. I don't care. Hex Flash over the wall, though. Vextrax coming in. Zenith Blade's under the tower. Going to have to walk away, though. There's the perfect execution in. Vextrax barely living. We do get that under the wall. But Hexify able to DC at the end and walk away. But Gran Torino picks up the response kill. That is, though, 2 for 1 by Hexify, who's able to clean that up.
Yeah, trades it over, but the gold lead still hasn't really moved back over too much. This just more so equalizes things rather than getting some kind of advantage there. But Vextrax going in super, super deep, leaving Arcades here in the bot lane alone. But the Q is not going to land. There's going to be no dive here available. But 2v1 double kill for 4,000 IQ into tower, getting every single plate. It's only 12 minutes. 4,000 IQ is getting a massive gold lead right now. This is looking pretty dire.
Absolutely, and something you mentioned, with the fact that Vextrax has been leaving a lot and rotating, Arcadius has been on his own. Despite that, he's up 15 CS on critical nugs on this Sivir.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's... oh, no, that's just CS difference. That's just mechanical difference at this point. Oh, my lord.
Things are already looking rough for the side of Neon Knights.
Yeah, it's not looking super great. It is looking almost exactly as we expected it to go. At KNP establishing the lead. There is one dragon in the favor of NK, so there's some consolation there, but this next one is spawning up, and I don't think they're going to have as easy of a time grabbing this.
You see that Herald drop mid.
4,000 IQ isn't available to teleport into this, and seems to be content to be just running to the top lane. Doesn't want to fight with this dragon, but Herald is going to get popped.
There's the all-out mid lane, pulling Gran Torino back in, followed up with the Glacial Prison. Great roam there. The egg is popped off the Arctic Assault, but autos are coming in. Perfect execution for extra care, and that's going to be SD Argo taking out Gran Torino off a great roam mid by I'll Be Back.
Good stuff there. I mean, that sets them back a little bit. Potentially opens up this dragon, but a lot of ultimates were used, so it could still be a little bit tricky. The 3-man stack is moving to defend this tower. They're looking to trade out, defend this bot lane tower. 4,000 IQ says, I'm taking all of your top lane jungle if you're not going to be here.
Solar Flare comes in, Infinite Duress just to get on. There's the fear off of that Primal Howl. Flash away by Crazy Dogs. Flash in, gets the auto off the Blade Caller, and that's going to be a kill heading over to Arcadius.
Huge stuff for Arcadius. The flash forward there to get the kill, so it won't be available for the next fight, but a kill lands over. 5k gold lead ballooning. 4,000 IQ making up a considerable portion of that gold lead, you have to imagine. This is looking very brutal. Dragon is the call, and they're going to be on it. It should be an easy take here for KNP.
No contest anywhere close. We saw SD Argo take the back. Nothing really going on right now. All in control of the side of K.
Yeah, other than that that kind of botched dive from earlier.
Get a little freeze there because of the pause previously due to an 80 carry DC. Nothing too surprising.
yeah, other than that botch dive there, not a whole lot's been going on.
4,000
Here's
IQ
NK.
pops the needlework there. They're looking to go in. There's the pull in off the Untopo strikes, and the needlework is going to take him down with the snip. That's another solo kill for 4,000
And
IQ.
there's no one in the neighborhood to even try to defend this tower, so 4,000 IQ, if he wants, can just start smacking on this tower.
There goes
But
the
mid lane.
Glacial Prism mid lane. They're on to Gran Torino. Shuriken flip lands. There is no CC for Gran Torino to escape. Lands that Flash Frost onto 2, but it's not enough. There's a kill heading over to Hexify in response.
Yeah, but top lane is still getting chunked down 4,000 IQ. Snip, 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 playing some, oh man, what's that anime with the scissors? Please, somebody help me. Oh no.
You ask a very good question that I do not have an answer to.
somebody in the chat's gonna get me on this one. But that is what Gwen is doing right now. Oh man, it was like they had the clothing that would like the superpower you. It was a really weird anime, but it was great. It was really awesome. I'll have to find it later. Somebody knows it.
Somebody knows what you're talking about.
Somebody
Everybody
knows what I'm
else thinks you're
talking
crazy.
about. I swear I'm not crazy. 4,000 IQ, though, is an absolute maniac in this top lane, pulling out a 5-0 lead, 30 CS up as well. Second item coming in. Oh my gosh, Shadow Flame, that is just an immense amount of damage. At this point, 4,000 IQ is like, I don't really need sustain. Riftmaker's everything that I need. I need damage. I need to murder people. I need to destroy the next lane that I go to. And 4,000 IQ is still going top. I mean, at this point, you're 2 towers down. You're knocking on the inhib tower door. I think you might want to rotate, but
No, they're just heading
already have the
straight
push.
back top lane, and like you mentioned, did finish that second item before their lane opponent, and I'll be back, has even finished their mythic.
Yeah, that's...
Hexify, though, trying
That's
to
not
go
where you
one-on-one,
wanna
just
be.
running away from 4,000 IQ, but the needlework comes out. There's a snip, perfect execution trying to dodge it away. We're going to turn down to this bot side, as it looks like Hexify's barely able to escape thanks to that perfect execution.
And I'm just looking now in the chat. Kill a kill. That's it.
There
Pewin,
you go.
Thank you so much. Kill a kill with the scissor blade. That is 4,000 IQ doing her best Ryuka cosplay right now. Just absolutely popping off. Supercharged anime hero moments here. SD Argo looking for some action here in the jungle, but it's not going to be handed over. And the pushes are going to come in every single lane. What is the next objective spawning? What are we looking at? What are we looking at here?
2.5 minutes, and then we get both Baron and Dragon on the board.
And Rift Herald is going to be up for that, so potential to make some craziness happen here. 6k gold lead, so we haven't seen too much of a forward momentum shift. Hexify 3-2, performing reasonably well on that Akali, but reasonably well is not good enough when you've got 4,000 IQ performing extraordinarily well. We needed a little bit bigger of a lead here, so it's gonna be up to K and P to just close this one out in textbook fashion. They really just need to take objectives, put down the Rift Herald, go grab an objective, use your side lane pressure to continue to push this lead. I don't like. Can you imagine a scenario where 4,000 IQ can even be killed? They tried
No.
2v1.
They probably need like a 5v1. Hexify's going in, lands the Shuriken flip, just gonna get a bit of damage off. Trying to dash out in this Twilight Shroud, has to proto belt away, but there's the needlework. Autos under tower, tries to dash away. There's the Shuriken flip back in. The Hallowed Mist is popped.
Oh my god.
Critical Nug just autoing down. Forced to flash away. There's the perfect execution. Back in for the massive shutdown. Apparently the side of Neon Knights was listening to what we had to say.
They're
Listen, you
listening.
think we can't kill 4,000 IQ? Watch us.
But that's huge, actually. So yeah, Hexify getting 900 gold there on a single kill. That's massive. That's a huge gold swing. We're bringing it back
SD Argo
into
locked
5K.
down there, uses that Glacial Prison, but there goes the engage. But everybody's just dashing around. Crazy Dogs immediately popped after he popped that full shackles. They're just gonna have to back away. Their great engage off the solar flare of Vexrex.
Yeah, so even though Vexify is doing some crazy stuff here in the top lane, it manages to pick up the kill onto 4,000 IQ. Hand that man his shutdown, so to speak. We are going to see the rest of the team is going to have to pick up some of the slack as well. So Critical Nugs is going to have to get on at least 2 or 3 items before these team fights are going to start going in their favor. Arcadius looking at almost finishing those quick blades. Just probably like 200, 300 gold off. Just looking to maybe farm a camp here and then grab that. Whereas the Phantom Dancer is still a little bit away here from Critical Nugs. So we're going to need to see that item come through definitely in order for these team fights on the other side to go. But Hexify is starting to get into the realm of potential side lane threat here. When the Banshee Veil comes through, that's going to be big news. And potentially stopping 4,000 IQ.
Absolutely, but right now, as you mentioned, nobody really can match 4,000 IQ as they have rotated over to this Infernal Dragon. They'll take their second dragon of the game.
And it's going to be Infernal Soul, which is great for poke. Not a whole lot of poke that we see coming out. Arcadius and Gran Torino can do like a little bit of something with the flash freeze and the Q coming out of the Xayah there, but all in all, it's not going to be the most insane stuff. They are looking to team fight. They're looking for a very standard fight here. But you know, in terms of just like raw team fight, if we can get on item parity, I think that NK are going to have a slight edge here.
That's a big if they can get on item parity.
Big if we can get on item parity here, because the Warwick is going to start to fall off soon. Very soon here, Warwick is going to start to fall off in terms of these team fights. But the 3-1 is still it's still a problem.
Yep, right now we do see Herald pops mid. Pickle Nug's just looking to clear this out.
Yeah, it should be a pretty easy clear here. I would like to see them take this pressure and translate it into more of a Baron here, because that tower was gone, regardless of whether we're standing around mid doing nothing. I would have liked to see some
There's the Dark Blinding that lands onto Vexrex, forced to flash away. There is the on the hunt pop, TP coming in behind, Infinite Duress pop in, lands the CC, Hexify's getting some kills, there's the perfect execution continuing, lands the Shuriken flip, he's on, gets the kill on Arcades, but 4,000 IQs here, the Needlework takes down Critical Nugs. Gran Torino is in trouble, has to walk away off that crystallized wall.
Yeah, cooldowns were already down 4,000 IQ, just had to walk in and start slinging death, which he absolutely did. But at the end of the day, it is going to be 2 for 2. So that's the best kind of engage that you could really hope for.
3 for 2, actually.
3 for 2, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Vex
jungle, AD carry, and support of KNP drop there. So that's a great fight there for Neon Knights off a pick on Vexrax.
That's really the best that you can hope for. And you force the TP out of 4,000 IQ, and no objective is able to be taken with that TP. That's more of a defensive kind of salvage play, as opposed to like we're making a forward momentum towards ending this game. So any kind of stalling that NK can do right now is going to pay off. That's what they need to be doing. So props to them. Hexify looking at 6-2 scoreline right now. Picking up that Banshee's Veil and a blast, or a needlessly large wand also coming in. So that's a lot of AP. Big item spikes here for Hexify. Looking to be a big damage threat now.
Absolutely, really has that damage to pop anybody they land on. We saw them land that Shuriken flip onto Arcadius there and wait out the Featherstorm and just be able to pop her as soon as she lands. Speaking of Arcadius, though, we do see that Navori finally finished. The 2 item spike now online. Thank you, Freak, for donating us 80 carry buffs.
Yes, if you have at least 40% critical strike chance, your attacks reduce your non-ultimate ability cooldowns by 15% of their remaining cooldown. Which means you get to E more if you're Xayah, and you want to be E more. The more E's you can throw out, the better.
And your abilities can crit. Well, do more damage based on your crit. So yeah, Xayah very much loves that.
Yeah, huge stuff. I mean, Xayah lives for the E. Your whole goal is to stack up a bunch of feathers in a team fight, press E, root everybody up, and then clean it up from there. So the more damage you can get on that E, the better. And 8% more damage is nothing to scoff at. So a great item buy, great quality of life stuff there for Xayah. And also Gangplank. Gangplank loves Navori Quick Blades also.
Absolutely. Gangplank absolutely adores Navori Quick Blades right now.
It's a lot of fun. If you have not tried it out, try it out. It is a lot of fun. Gangplank with Navori Quick Blades. But back to the matter at hand. 4,000 IQ. Terrorizing.
Possibly in trouble here. Blast Cone is able to not necessarily get him away. He is being collapsed on. There's the Permastraw stun. He has to drop that Solar Flare just to walk away. He is able to escape though.
Yep, just going to be able to walk this one out, and NK are going to get some kind of Baron control here, but those Sharks are circling. Resets coming out. It looks like they want to buy and then maybe make a push here for this dragon that will be spawning shortly, or potentially...
That's a death cap. That's a death cap on 4,000 IQ.
Oh my god, that is very... Okay. I understand pushing your lead. I understand you're super far ahead. You want to kill people. I understand that. But sometimes building a defensive item helps you secure that lead. I think I would have preferred to see some kind of MR defensive item to reduce the options that Hexify has in one-shot targets.
All right, I hear what you're saying, but hear me out. They can't kill you if they're already dead.
understandable. But now you're playing like a rapier duel when you could have just been like this massive tank that just rolled over everything.
No, I'm right there with you. I just love damage.
But we'll see. I mean, 4000 IQ has been finessing these fights. He's been playing quite well. So I'm sure that this extra damage he's going to put to very, very good use. Looking for a Blast Clone play, and there it is.
Blast Clone is over, does get locked down by that Arctic Assault. Already being chunked up in perfect execution, but here comes the Needlework. Already into the backline, shredding through Morgana. But meanwhile, forced away. There's the snip. Vexrex goes down as well. It flashes over the wall by Arcadius, lands with that Featherstone and the Blade Caller. I'll be back. He seems to be next to the board. Has to go all out. Blade Caller comes in. Does fall, though, too. I'll be back, as this damage of Cassante is nothing to scoff at. The 4000 IQ just ripped through that team fight, despite the fact that it looked positive for the side of Neon Knights early.
Yeah, that was a 0-5 Cassante, by the way. Champion's not broken whatsoever. Just able to casually annihilate the ADC while surrounded by all members of the team. Fun stuff. But at the end of the day, KNP is going to pick up the fight, going to pick up the dragon. They are on soul point right now. And that's the fight you're looking for. That's what you want to be doing. You want to be murdering the enemy team, taking an advantageous fight. Of course, the ADC does fall to some 2,000 years stuff here with Cassante. But at the end of the day, you are making forward momentum once again, inching us closer towards the closeout of this game. 7K gold lead. I like to say 5K is when you have everything you need to win the game. 10K is when it is a foregone conclusion for the most part, unless you're making egregious mistakes. And KNP are not making egregious mistakes at this time.
Keyword is at this time. Anything is always possible, but they should be in a very solid position to try and close out this game. 7K ahead, as you mentioned. Critical Knowledge trying to just siege onto this mid lane turret now. Arcadius goes for the root collar, not going to get anything with the black shield there to back him up.
Oh, could have just thrown that last auto on there. I think Critical Knights could have gone for it. They were on reset timer looking for Baron, but that's fine. It's going to go down eventually. I do want to mention that LDR coming out here for Arcadius. That armor shred is going to be huge, just ignoring massive portions of the armor that is being built here on the Sejuani and the Cassante. Lots of frontline bursting and damage here. Arcadius becoming a huge threat, riding off of 4000 IQ's wave, so to speak, surfing that one into a nice lead for themselves now.
Absolutely. Speaking of 4000 IQ, there's the Needlework, gets the slow already there, knocked back by that Pathmaker. I'll be back trying to just run away, forces Hexify to TP down there to bail him out.
Yeah, that's going to open up here. Baron control here. It looks like the 3-man duo is going to come in, sweep out this, get all the wards cleared out. They are going to establish that Baron control off of that TP. So, you know, the 1v1 pressure here from Hexify is turning into... Or, I'm sorry.
They're on it right now.
They're just doing it. They're doing it on top of Scuttler. They say...
There's the TP coming in from 4000 IQ, and I'll be back. We're going to get a big team fight here, possibly.
Yeah, they cannot.
Solar Flare goes wide, no follow-up there. Zenith Blade not coming in, but there is the Shuriken Flip back into the team. Massive Glacial Prism onto 4000 IQ. He's chunked out immediately. There's the Needlework. There goes down off the perfect execution. That's the most fed member of KNP already down as the side of Neon Knights looks to chase. Flash Binding goes wide, no follow-up there. There come the feathers coming out. Blade Work Collar roots that there. Dark Binding goes wide. That'll just be a 1-0, but 4000 IQ all.
What was that flank? What was that? Just got absolutely isolated, destroyed, locked down, and otherwise murderlated by Hexify's damage. And that's where we start to see the double-edged sword of the full DPS build coming in. And still going into DPS. Looks like he's building into a Lichbane right now. So 4000 IQ doubling down on the damage. If you're gonna be playing like heavy damage like that, you need to be playing cleanup. You cannot be playing like I'm gonna flank, potentially tank like 3 members while I'm like just throwing Needlework out and snip and healing while I'm stacking my Conqueror. You know what I mean? That's the kind of like play that you might see if you want to be a flanker. You need to be on a lot of MR. You need to be on some amount of lifesteal, some amount of tankiness to survive the initial burst and lockdown. You're building full DPS. You're building, once the big lockdown cooldowns have been expended, I'm coming in. I have plenty of damage to clean up the fight. I'm also a side lane threat. So 4000 IQ playing a little too big for their britches there and gets punished super hard for it. But props to NK for taking advantage of that one. They continue to make this game look somewhat close, even though the gold lead is starting actually to diminish here a little bit. We're only looking at about 5K.
Yeah, a little bit there, and that massive shadow needs to go to SD Argo, who instantly was able to land that Glacial Prism to lock him down, not allow for the Hallowed Mist to come up for Gwen to be immune. and they were just able to burst her out in that instant.
Yeah, brutal stuff. And Hexify with the damage. I mean, the Akali is coming through a little later than we kind of anticipated it to, but Hexify is finding a way to make it work through a comp that really should not be allowing this kind of shenanigans. And honestly, if I would like to see 4000 IQ just commit to the split push. I think a 1-3-1 split push or a 4-1 split push is absolutely fine and a great way that they can try to seal out this game. They don't necessarily need the Baron. Baron makes things nice, but they have the 4-man pressure in the mid lane. Xayah is fed enough to be able to like support that.
Dark Binding lands, just autos coming out of Vexrex, chunks out Vexrex a little bit. Nugs really in a good spot now. Does have that 3-item spike. No IE yet. Has instead opted for the LDR as well. DP coming in. This will be an Infernal Soul for the side of KNP if they can lock it up. I'll be back not yet at this fight. Instead, just clearing out and pushing out this bot lane. He's going to be looking to join the team who are currently stacking towards that bot lane right now.
I think just like this face-off, this like 5-man stack, you know, form ranks and then run at each other, I don't think this favors NK. I don't think this is exactly the fight they want to go for, but 4000 IQ still looking for weird flank angles. That's the angle that you have to punish if you are NK. You have to punish 4000 IQ. But if you're taking just a straight-up 5v5 team fight like we're witnessing right now, this could be disastrous for NK.
Absolutely. Dark Binding does land there. SD Argo going in, stuns out Warwick there. Dragon has been leaked. Big Bad Bone Run's already out. 4000 IQ, though, in the backline, annihilates the Morgana and the Sivir. Just melting through this team. That's a triple kill already. They're on for a Quadra. They're looking for it. They're on to Hexify right now. Unfortunately, they fall. Vexrex, though, and Gran Torino all up. Flash Zenith Blade will lead to the shutdown by Gran Torino. That's a Quadra kill to 4000 IQ. And with this Infernal Dragon falling to KNP, it will be an Infernal Soul for the squad.
NK making it look competitive. They took the 5v5, but I hate to be right, but when I'm right, I'm right. It was disastrous. 2 members do end up surviving. They did manage to take 3, but they lose the soul in the process. They lose so much. It's just a hard fight to take. Hexify not quite having the support that he needs to be able to make those kinds of plays happen. Their front line is just not tanky enough right now. Also, their backline was left super exposed. 4000 IQ just going in there and shredding up both Critical Nugs and Crazy Dog in the first few seconds of that fight, and then it was just a foregone conclusion from there. Baron
Critical
Nugs
couldn't do a thing in that fight. 4000 IQ just shredded him immediately with that needlework, and just meant there were no ricochets for that fight. There was no AD carry there for the side of Neon Knights. And it just basically meant before the fight even began, it was over.
Yeah, and with the full force of the KNP lineup, and they were able to bring like a full 5v5 team fight there. There was no isolating 4000 IQ. You were using your cooldowns on whatever was in front of you.
There's the infinite duress, though, onto Critical Nugs. Looks at the fear of that Primal Howl, but the collapse is here. They're on to Big Bad Bone Dad, and he's just getting melted, possibly. He will fall to Critical Nugs in the end off of that collapse. 2 TPs there. Hexify's looking to go in there. Has popped the first execution. Vexrex is next on the table. He gets stunned off that permafrost. Hexify, though, has to dash away out of that storm, but look who's here. It's 4000 IQ. They have the needlework up. They are just dashing through with the snip. There's a triple. There's a Quadra again. 2 Quadras on this game for the side of 4000 IQ. Arcadius is the one to steal away the Penta, but this will be an easy Baron take for the side of KNP.
The long con TP flank pays off for 4000 IQ as he just runs up the rear. Cooldown spent. They are chasing the support Vexrax deep into territory. And while they may have killed Vexrax, Omaiwa mo Shinderu, 4000 IQ teleports behind you and just absolutely mops up the fight.
Nothing personal, kid.
So many anime references. I'm done. I'm done, Bickle.
I mean, when you got 4000 IQ popping off like this on the Gwen, there's not much you can do when she's the most anime of the anime in this game.
15-3. That is absolutely disgusting. Hexify trying the best that they can. 9-4. Unfortunately, not quite able to make it happen, but it is a good showing. It was a good showing. I mean, the Akali has potential here. I think you need to draft a little bit more to support that. You need to draft a little bit more of a skirmish comp. you kind of are like hedging your bets. You get like half team fight, half, and then like a collie.
That's a massive crystallize wall, forcing out the QSS as Crystal Nugs tries to walk out of that Glacial Storm.
Yeah, level 18 Anivia here.
SD Argo, though, possibly looking at something here. Black Shield does block the stun. Dark Binding goes wide, but there's the Infinite Duress instantly onto Crystal Dogs. There's the stun off that Shield of Daybreak. Hexify trying to go in on Arcades. There's the Featherstorm, though, with the Blade Caller. Pulls it back, rips him down, and 4,000 IQs here. There's the Needlework. I'll be back trying to deal with 4 as he goes all out, but it doesn't matter. He's running for his life. Big Bad Bone Dad is on the leash, and Arcadius comes in, takes him down as well.
Oh. And he dies to the last tick of Ignite. Critical Nugs running with his tails between his legs. The Baron push coming through the mid lane. This is going to be the end of it. A more or less flawless execution on that last team fight, catching NK with their pants down out of position in the mid lane. But that's going to be game 1 going. So, oh, wow.
What? Jesus!
One last hoorah.
I'm sorry, I blinked. Was there a Sivir?
One last hoorah for 4,000 IQ, dashing forward, snip, 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 goodbye, shaving a haircut. That's the end of your life, my friend. Clinical work there from 4,000 IQ and the rest of KMP.
Domination through and through. I'll be back. Picks the Cassante B1, the instant counter pick response from 4,000 IQ with this Gwen saying, I'm confident in this matchup. I can do whatever I need to. And oh boy, it worked out for them.
Yeah, I think we're going to
see
a vastly different draft in game.
Oh, absolutely.
In game 2 here. The complete landscape of everything that NK wanted to do has just been completely shifted. I would love to see, I want to see more Akali. I want to see Hexify's Akali in a composition that supports Hexify's Akali.
Something that's actually built for an Akali.
Yeah, something that like can let you pop off. Just a little bit more skirmish, a little bit less like tanks and lockdown. I think you're good to go.
No, normally I'd ask you for an MVP, but I think we're both pretty unanimous at 4,000 IQ taking this one out. And yeah, well done all around by the side of K and P. They take game number 1. We are going to get set up here for game number 2. While we do, we're going to throw you guys over to the hosts.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much. Great casting, guys. And wow, I just gotta say, pretty sloppy game from both sides, but that Gwen, amazing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Gwen played it pretty well. I think they were kind of trolling ever team fighting because Gwen was at the point where no one could kill her unless they sent like 3 to 4 members at her. So realistically, I mean, you just play the fights where the Gwen is on the sideline and you force 3 to 4 people to go out to Gwen. And then whatever objectives on the other side, you kind of just do for free. But instead, they just kind of go for the team fight route, which created this mess of a game where they're just constantly flipping fights, and the Akali was getting a lot of kills. So it became really close for no reason. But I mean, at the end of the day, the Gwen took over the game.
Exactly. And like I said, the game was sloppy. I do want to bring out that the Akali. I think the Akali pick for 1 was terrible, and the Akali build, I do not like the Banshee's second item. I think if you are the only damage that can kill the other team because it's so far behind, like why aren't we going that second item death cap into I don't know, what's the magic pen item?
You can go for the Shadow Flame is the item that you're looking for.
Yeah, Shadow Flame. Yeah, that.
Yeah. I agree. I think the Akali build was a little weird. I think Sejuani had also a really weird build. He decided to go for Heartsteel instead of going for Radiant Virtue, which is, you're playing a team fight comp, just build the team fight item. You know, just go for the Radiant Virtue, heal your teammates, and allow your Sivir to actually be able to get a chance to auto attack, although it didn't happen very often. I think the Akali pick was fine in a pocket because he played the champion well, right? So you could tell he has mastery of the champion, and he's able to pick the targets he's looking for in team fights. So it's very clear he picked it as like, hey, it might not be good in this situation, but I'm going to pick it because it's something I'm really good at, which he was very good at the Akali pick. It just, unfortunately, when you're not building to itemize to be the sole AP threat who has to kill pretty much everyone in this situation, it doesn't look good. And that's pretty much what happened, because even though the Anivia didn't do anything, Warwick didn't do anything, Xayah was kind of just there, like, it doesn't matter because they're not stopping the the Akali's not doing anything to stop that either. So it's just it's a bad draft, but as it is, we are in plat elo. We're just looking to play comfort and all that good jazz.
Exactly. I do think that it is the first game of the season. Everyone's gonna be kind of nervous. They're gonna be playing kind of bad because I know Zaya died 2 times to Akali when she had flats and cleanse. Like, why are you dying to Akali with flats? Like, just all flats away, all. The junglers, both junglers didn't do anything, pretty much.
Yeah, it was pretty much just soul lane domination. I would say
Yeah.
I would give commends to Leona was roaming a lot. So
Oh, yeah.
Zaya staying even in farm against a 2v1 lane that can pressure her in the early stages was pretty good. So the early stage he looked pretty comfortable playing that lane out, even as 1v2 lane, because Leona was going like psycho crazy roaming mode. So I mean that's fine. Do you have any ideas of what you would want to see changed for drafts in either side? As I'm assuming they're going to switch sides.
Yeah, so just in sides, I do think that the K'Sante and the Gwen, I actually think it's kind of even. I just think the K'Sante kind of entered a little bit. If you just play a little bit safer, and she doesn't have flats or a ghost, just have your Sejuani come up top lane and gank. That's a free kill, level 6, ulti her back, do that kind of thing. But if we're talking about champion picks, if that Akali was Victor, I think that game is so much more different with a 6-2 Victor compared to Akali. With that front to back.
I think it's hard because so we talked about and the casters, as they well pointed out, that they wanted to see like a more like a mage. The problem is when you see Leona, Warwick, and you see the zone of control that Anivia can offer, it makes that mobile mage extremely difficult to play in team fights. So I can understand where he wanted to play something that gives him more freedom in fights to perform. I think the K'Sante was just the problem of, well, we know this champ is really strong and it's open, and we're not thinking about what can counter the champ. 4,000 IQ is a very well-regarded top laner. He's played in multiple different leagues, so I think you should be a little bit more careful and maybe target more bans towards that side of the matchup. If you're trying to take the K'Sante, ban for it accordingly. Like make sure you're getting rid of the Gwen. In pro play, you see Jax, you see Gnar, you see Camille sometimes into it. So just think of what obviously you saw the Gwen now, what it can do into the K'Sante.
Yeah.
Either play the lane matchup differently, like you said, and have your Sedge actually come early, like he's supposed to help with that lane. Or if you're not going to play that way and you're just playing Island, play a different champ. Don't play K'Sante because it has counters. It looks OP. I know it's OP. It has counters. And if you're playing against a lane that you might not be very proficient at it, you might want to consider the counters.
Exactly. So coming to the next game, let's go on to the next game like you're going along. Do you think KNP bans the Akali game 2?
I could see it being a round 2 ban. I don't see it as a round 1 ban. I do like how they were drafting and how they got rid of the Vex, because Vex fits their team fight very well. If you think about it, if you put it a Vex with that Sivir, it makes sense. It's a very strong situation. So I could see where maybe they're just saying like, hey, because I think that if this game is more even into the mid parts of the game, I think that the other team, blue side, actually wins the game because they just have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that with the Sivir becomes extremely hard to kill and kills everybody. So I think Sivir makes the game very difficult for the blue side or for red side, because even with the changes to AD, I don't think Zaya does a lot of damage. It's more of like a safer champion where it can do damage, but it's mostly just there to be like, hey, like I can do damage, but I also have that huge repel that in case something hits me, that I have the repel to keep me safe. But I liked the Sivir pick, and I liked how they built that front line for it. Like you're saying, control mage versus Akali. I think if the Gwen wasn't 15 and 4 or whatever she was, and Akali is still that same level of strength, Akali kills the Anivia and the Zaya pretty easily. I mean, he did it multiple times. The Anivia pick really didn't do anything. Even though it was the last pick, it didn't offer anything besides just giving that zone of control, which it never really needed to. Yeah, but I think. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say we're about to get into drafts. So real quick, what is your prediction for game 2? Do you still think KNP is going to 2-0, or you think Nice come back?
I think it's going to be 2-0. I think the top lane differences and the way they're playing around it is just more important right now.
Well, I'm going to have to agree. I think it's also a 2-0. But that is it for us. We'll be sending it to draft. Thank you for being here and enjoy game 2.
All right, everybody, welcome back into game number 2 of Neon Knights taking on KMP. We're already hopping into draft. Something to note, sides have not swapped. Neon Knights have decided to remain on the blue side, and another change, Hopium is in for KMP, so they are back with their full squad.
Oh.
So that explains the Hecarim ban, and I don't think we're too surprised to see the potential Gwen ban here. Something to note, though, KMP banning out the Akali.
They respect the Akali, so I understand that from KMP banning out the Akali, and I also understand NK banning out the Gwen. But I honestly think that the Gwen was more so abusing the Cassante rather than 4000 IQ just being like this Gwen prodigy.
I'm right there with you.
Hey, the Gwen was clean. It played super well. But it was more so abusing mistakes, like our analyst has said earlier. There wasn't a whole lot of early game like pressure there, and Cassante was like taking really aggressive trades and then like extended trades where Gwen like loves to be, and she's just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get a free kill here. But Zach being the hover here for Neon Knights.
And the lock-in.
Ooh, I like it. That's super aggressive gank. That sets up like a great skirmish comp in my mind, like a dive in a skirmish comp. That's what that
It's also
reads to
really
me.
flexible depending on what they want to send it. That has top potential, jungle potential, support potential, even mid potential if you watched the LEC last week.
Yes, Zach being a giant goo monster is quite flexible.
Absolutely, and we'll have to see what side of KMP goes for here. I'm just going to ignore that pun and actually get what happened. KMP going to say, you know what? I'm going to 4000 IQ saying, you know what? I'm going to show you how to play Cassante. I'm going to show you as he locks in the man himself this game. And we're going to see one more pick coming for KMP before we swap on back. I personally would expect an AD carry here, would be my guess.
I think Sejuani would be a great pick, though.
Ooh, Sej would fit great, actually. You're
That,
right.
like, that sets up your team fight comp. Super standard, which is what KMP wants to do. But Lilia is the hover. Is that going to be the lock-in? I think it is.
It is the lock-in. The deer is here.
The deer is here. Fear the deer. Fear the deer. Lilia gets locked in. A lot of AP damage, a lot of catch. Bowling balls for days. Let's see if we can make something happen here. Kaisa going to be the hover. I like Kaisa. Kaisa's in a great spot right now.
Kaisa is in a great spot. She's probably even benefited from the recent AD carry buffs coming in. We'll have to see if that's the route that Critical Nugs is going to head down.
She fits
as
well
the
for,
timer
like,
ticks down.
Dive
that
and
is locked in.
comp also. Dive and skirmish comp with the potential for like a hard team fight carry as well. So I'd love to see an NK skirmish comp here. So I'd like to see a support. Pyke is.
I think support makes the most sense here.
Pyke is one of my favorites. Thresh is also really great. Rakan can also do some great work.
I think Rakan fits great here.
Yeah. All those.
Something with a bit of engage.
Yeah, even Braum. That's like a little bit of everything. No.
That is not what I wanted.
No.
That is none of those.
No. Well, Janet does get locked in, and that's what we're gonna have to live with. A lot of peel, a lot of disengage, while we have two like kind of heavy dive champs. So the draft's getting split a little bit here for NK, but Kaisa's flexible. She can do a lot with what is given to her, but I would have really liked to see a little bit more of a coherent draft. But Ashe is going to be hovered over for KNP, a little bit more of a supportive AD carry this time around.
I was going to say, not only a supportive AD carry, sometimes just a support outright. Do you think we'll see this heading down to Vex Cracks, or is this an Arcadius pick?
I think it's something that NK definitely has to keep in mind. You can always get swerved into the support role. But for now, I'm thinking that it's going to be an ADC, and I'm probably going to have to eat my words in the second half of this draft as Vex gets banned here on the side of KNP.
Absolutely. Mid lane focus once again from both squads, as we do see the Vex and the Akshan being taken away, targeting a bit of that AD mid laner pool because they already have that AP jungler available.
What is going to be the next ban here? Yone is going to get taken away.
Absolutely flexible between that top and mid position, and the Anivia last hover, last ban. We saw success from Gran Torino last game. They do not want to see that happen again. So we'll have to see what the pick is here. I thought they killed this.
I think that's a support Heimerdinger.
I think I like this more. I like that more.
What's going on right now?
Ezreal Ashe, bot lane, bot duo, Sivir Ashe.
Sivir? I don't like the Sivir as much as
I don't like the Sivir Ashe as a combo.
But there it is. That's
feels
get locked in.
Like different agendas in lane.
Yeah. Like we got wave clear and we also got catch. So it's like, what are you actually doing?
Yeah, but we do end up seeing Vexrex on that Ashe paired up with Arcadius on the Sivir this time. Sivir and Cassante both making the swap from last game to the new squad, whereas we see what NK is going to be bringing out. We do see the Monkey King himself, Wukong. My guess is jungle, so I think we have a Zac top.
Is that Zac? I don't think Zac top pairs super great into Cassante. Correct me if I'm wrong. I also don't think Wukong pairs well into Cassante. I don't think either of these champions are what you want to be doing against a champion like Cassante. But here we are. We got a skirmish comp
with a Janna.
Sure. with a Janna. It's almost like
it's like
they build a comp,
but replace the Akali with a Janna.
They're like, we got a team fight comp with an Akali, and now we got a skirmish and pick comp and dive comp with a Janna. And Cassidon's gonna get locked in. That's terrifying.
That's absolutely terrifying. Hello, timer.
That is super spooky. And KNP are saying we've got a skirmish comp too. We've got a catch comp for the most part. So we got Lilia Ashe, and then Cassidon is kind of like this late game threat. Cassante is just generally good, and Severe is there to hold down waves.
And it's more of an Orianna angle instead.
That's okay.
And it's back to Cassidon.
Yeah, I like the Cassidon better than the Orianna.
Cassidon.
I love Orianna, but I think Cassidon in this specific situation, also where Cassidon is in the meta, I think that's terrifying. I think if you are NK, you are sweating right now.
Absolutely. Ever since the Rod of Ages and Seraph's changes, Cassidon has become such a menace. They recently nerfed his Force Pulse E. It's cooldown late game, but I think they forgot that they made it scale as more spells are cast around him, the shorter the cooldown gets. So they didn't really touch him. Cassidon, absolutely broken right now. Such a strong mid laner into that AP burst mage of the LeBlanc. Now, taking a look at what we have here from Neon Knights and KNP, which draft do you prefer? Who is your favorite right now going in?
So I would have said Neon Knights if we didn't have a Janna. I think
so. Like last game when we said we would pick Neon Knights if they didn't have the Akali.
I think KNP, they've got a very interesting draft. I'm gonna favor them. I want to see how it plays out. It's like kind of well-rounded, but leaning towards a catching, skirmishing comp. And I'm excited to see that because that's not what we had last game. So at least we're gonna get some variation here. I'm giving the edge over to KNP. Second seed takes it 2-0.
I'm right there with you. I think what KNP just has a nice, well-rounded comp all around. They got good pick potential, good late-game scaling in that Cassidon Sivir. And I'm wondering what 4,000 IQ can pull out with this Cassante. Did not see the best performance from I'll Be Back last game, but we will have to see what comes about. We are going to throw you guys back over to the analyst desk while we get in-client draft and the spectator delay handled. But when they do handle that, we'll be back here with game number 2 of Neon Knights and KNP.
Thank you very much for throwing it back. I do want to say a point real quick, and then I'll throw it over to you, King. When I first saw the Zac, the first pick, I was like, yes. The jungler, he saw that this other support is roaming a lot, so we're gonna dive that ADC 3-1, and we're gonna make sure he gets behind. And then I saw the Wukong, and I was like, it's a Zac top. We are not gonna dive the ADC level by itself on the turret. What do you think about that?
You know, I actually liked their draft until like the analyst or like the caster said, until the Janna. I think Janna doesn't really make sense. It kind of feels like they took the Janna so that way blue team or red team can't take the Janna, but because it does really well into the engage of the Zac and the Wukong. But it doesn't feel what they want to do. I mean, something like Leona Rakan just screams like this comp. I'm really like they said, I'm really scared of the ticking time bomb that is red side draft because they have Cassidon, they have Sivir, and they have that Cassante that are pretty good late game with the Lilia that rounds it out really well. I think the Zac is just going to be there to be a blob and just sit top and try not to die, and then hopefully build Radiant Virtue. Please build the right item, and and just be there for team fights. I think that's what his job's going to be. Just be something that can try and stick, so that way his AD carry can actually auto. However, there is a Cassidon on the enemy team, so you can't really stop him from going to your back line. But yeah, what do you think about the bot lane matchup? Just the 2v2.
I think the bot lane matchup kind of goes into the ticking time bomb. I think if you are Neon Knights, you have to dive this bot lane and get it behind and get yours ahead. because if you don't get your Kaisa ahead, that is not good. And then the ADC, so bot lane goes even, right? The mid lane, LeBlanc is only viable to a certain point compared to Cassidy. Cassidy's going to pop off and win the game for you. So if you don't get bot lane ahead, I think this game's over. I think it's over before 15 minutes if you don't get bot lane behind.
Yeah, I think it's pretty curious because we saw how aggressive the support was for NK, or not for, I'm sorry, not for NK, but for the red side team. And he was playing Leona just super all over the place, like, you know, like engaging from really long distances. Didn't really hit a lot of abilities, but he was still going for them. Whereas now he's just playing more of like a lane dominant, so he's showing a different side to his skill level. So the first game, super roam heavy, super, you know, I'm just gonna be out of my lane. My AD carry is playing Xayah. I get to just roam around. This game, they're going more for lane domination, which I think can work. Like the casters were saying, I would have liked to seen another AD carry instead of the Sivir because it just offers you more of that lane domination that you want with the Ashe. But Sivir just offers more scaling in case the mid lane matchup goes bad with the Kassadin. I just, you know, Janna's going to be there to play some kind of disengage. Don't really know what, because there's not a lot she can stop in this game because you have Cassante, he does whatever he wants, and Casson does whatever he wants. So
yeah, exactly.
That's the only pick. I'm like, as the casters are saying, I really struggle to see what this character is going to do in the game. And I really want to see just a cleaner top lane 2v2. I think 4,000 IQ just kind of ran away with the game with some bad ganks and just bad laning against him. So hopefully, since it's more of a even matchup, since you're just playing tank into tank, it'll work out. But you never know because it is Cassante.
Exactly, it's Cassante. I think Cassante. I think 4,000 IQ is still going to run away with this lane if Wukong does not come and help. Wukong, the Sejuani from last game, needs to do something early. Didn't do anything last game, and now this time you're against the jungler who is part of the team. Last game was a sub. You didn't do anything. This time he's against the actual jungler for the team, and so I believe that Lilia is going to have so much more impact just knowing how the team plays. I really think Wukong needs to path better and just get some ganks off. He never ganked last game.
Yeah, I mean, so he's playing a farming champ just like Lilia, but he has to gank. If he doesn't gank and get his lanes ahead, Lilia will passively farm and be as strong, if not stronger, in team fights with that AP damage. But there's a Cassid and a Sivir on his side. So the importance of Wukong to get these lanes ahead, preferably bot lane or mid lane, punishing Kassadin before level 6 is very important. Like if he's not able to do that, this game's gonna be very hard for them to win.
Yep. All right, we have 30 seconds left, so let's get into predictions. What do you think is going to happen in this game? You think it's going to be look at that draft, 2-0 or 1-1?
It's 2-0 because there's Kassadin and Cassante on the same team. So that's all my
you know what?
That's all my analysis I have.
Okay. LeBlanc is the same thing as Akali, and I think he's going to just do better this game. So I'm going to go 1-1. I think Neon Knights win this game through LeBlanc. I think LeBlanc just pops off in lane. I hope it happens. But we will see what happens. We are out of time. Thank you everyone for watching. Get ready for game 2. It's going to be exciting. And have fun watching the game.
There, but pops the Hallowed Mist. I'll be back running away. But look what's up now. It is the needlework. There's the first cast. Second cast flashed away from. He's going to take both of them here. There's the auto dash in with the skip and slash. And the last cast of the needlework will take down.
Try 2v1.
I probably need like a 5v1. Hexafire's going in, lands the Shuriken Flip, just gonna get a bit of damage off. Trying to dash out in this Twilight Shroud, has to Proto Belt away, but there's the Needlework. Auto's under tower, tries to dash away. There's the Shuriken Flip back in. The Hallowed Mist is popped.
Oh my god.
Nug just autoing down. Forced to flash away. There's the perfect execution. Back in for the massive shutdown. Apparently the side of Neon Knights was listening to what we had to say.
They're listening.
You think we lands onto Vectrex, forced to flash away. There is the on the hunt pop, TP coming in behind. Infinite Duress pop in, lands the CC. Hexify's getting some kills. There's the perfect execution continuing. Lands the Shuriken Flip. He's on, gets the kill in Arcades, but 4,000 IQs here. The Needlework takes down Critical Nugs. Crangerino is in trouble. Has to walk away off that crystallized wall.
Yeah.
Here comes the... Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our second match of the day and our best of 3 as KNP takes on Neon Knights. KNP currently up 1-0 in this series thanks to a phenomenal game of Gwen by 4000 IQ. Once again, Neon Knights on this blue side, KNP on the red.
I love the spam ping baits coming out here on Vexrax's Ash as he runs to lane, does not hold an angle, and small little invade is gonna come in here from I'll be back. But I wanna bring up something that you mentioned in the draft. Mr. Zach, you are on Aftershock.
Vexrax just chunking out critical nugs there. Little Nimbus Strike gonna go, just not be able to catch the recall of Hopium. Yeah, like you mentioned, a bit of Aftershock there, so not going to have that trade power that 4000 IQ has with the Grasp. So he's going to be looking for quick, short bursts that he can then walk away from.
Yeah, or potentially being the primary engage for the team later in the game, but that means that you're going to be at the mercy of this Cassante 4000 IQ all lane, and 4000 IQ proved to us last game that that's not really a place that you really want to be.
Absolutely. We see Arcadius going with the Ghost here, able to join those team fights and just have that extra mobility. Vexrax going with the Hail of Blades, making his laning even more oppressive.
Yeah, this is it's gonna be a very, very interesting game. The mid lane is the lane to watch. As our analyst has said, if Hexify can pop off on this LeBlanc, it is going to warp the landscape of the game. Otherwise, it is more or less a free ride for KNP to a 1-0 record in the first week here of the Unstoppable League. But Hexify wants to prove that, hey, if we can take out the second seed here, if we can at least make it competitive against the second seed, the rest of the bracket should be somewhat easier, and we've got a good chance of playoffs there.
Absolutely. Vexrax just trying to be as annoying as possible, stepping up, using these volleys and the slows off his Q, just completely zoning them off 1v2. Sidesteps the Howling Gale, just says, nah, you're not touching this minion wave.
Oh, Hopium going a little too deep in the jungle right now is going to be forced out and has to use the flash there as well.
Has to burn flash there, as you mentioned.
But I think the more impressive feat is really Vexrax 2v1ing, solo zoning completely off the wave, like critical nugs and crazy dog. Why are y'all so scared? So scared.
Otto's back here for fourth. We do see the Pathmaker coming for a little bit of a knockback as 4000 IQ just has control. Hexify chunking out Gran Torino a little bit here with those ethereal chains.
That's brutal. That's a ton of damage right there. I'll be back already at like 30% HP. One good combo from 4000 IQ is going to pop the Cell Division, the passive there. And also crashing
mid lane though, we do see a little action coming in as the sigil is there. Ignite not available because it's not taking flash for flash. Gran Torino barely living. We do see Lily on the edge. Up, he lives barely, but it doesn't look over yet. There's the Nimbus strike into the crushing blow as SD Argo picks up first blood.
So, several moons ago, they added a little bit of an auto attack increase to your range for the crushing blow there.
SD Argo may be in trouble here. He's just getting some autos off on 4000 IQ, trying to run away. The blooming blows do not land. The Eep does, though. Wow. The Conqueror is stacked off that crushing blow. He's pretty strong. He's double buff here. He's just trying to walk them both down. He has the assistance of I'll be back here on the Zac. Meanwhile, bot side, same story as usual. Vexrax just zoning too. But Hexify is here as well. They're just trying to force him out. The ethereal chains goes wide, just trying to distort away. I'll be back, walking it out. And that is going to be a stolen red buff for SD Argo.
That's actually really, really, really good for NK because nobody's in waves catching anything. So it was a 3v3 there, and they get the advantage. So it's almost like a mini objective, like a mini dragon or something like that. But the red buff seems to be the fight there. And I like that. I like the contestation. Nobody dies. They get a small lead. So good on NK. That SD Argo is looking pretty strong, doing a lot of damage.
Classic slingshot though. SD Argo is in the area, forces Cassante to dash back with that footwork and get himself out of harm's way.
We're seeing a much more competitive early game here coming out of Neon Knights, and I like what I'm seeing here from SD Argo.
Plate is already taken bot side.
Yeah,
as
bot side.
Vexrax and Arcades are just shoving in, chunking out crazy dogs and critical nugs. The Eye of the Storm Shield is going to allow critical nugs to stay a little bit longer, but chunked out by that boomerang blade means they're both in deep trouble here, forced to back as a massive wave is about to crash into that tower.
Yeah, if I was Hopium, I'd be looking to hit level 6 and then dive this bot lane. They're playing so timid, so scared They're just kind of giving everything over while taking pretty awful trades, just getting absolutely owned here by Vexrax. There's infinite kill potential, infinite dive potential here in this bot lane for Hopium. 4,000 IQ.
Barely lives, is able to use that Pathmaker out of the stretching strikes, not going to be able to be pulled back thanks to that unstoppable. And Little, I'll be back in a great position here now. Much better than game number 1. But meanwhile, game in the mid lane, I was about to say, Gran Torino has a decent lead. He does draw the attention of SD Argo, but currently up 20 CS as Cassidon into the LeBlanc 3-6. Meanwhile, the Rift walking over, just going to try and poke out SD Argo. The Ethereal Chains are going to land. That's just going to be the root, though. No follow-up available.
Yeah, that level 6 advantage allows Gran Torino to kind of do some shenanigans there. 20 CS almost up over Xify right now. Xify is going to be able to recover about 10 of that through this wave if he CS's properly. And is going to get also 6 here as well, so he's able to match that. But SD Argo very, very active on the map right now. Already pulled off quite a few ganks.
Is one camp off that stretching strike? Level 6s are available topside. There's the footwork dash in. He has the Intofo strike. Dashes in, does not get the stun. There's the all-out, pulls him in, but the Let's Bounce is popped. That's a flash for flash.
Hey!
And I'll be back. Solo kill topside. Redemption for game 1.
Good on Bach, picking up the solo kill, showing that, hey, I might not be that great in the Cassante versus Gwen matchup, but the Zac versus Cassante matchup, that's where I thrive. I got this. Small CS lead, pushing a wave in right now. Gonna force the TP out of 4,000 IQ. There it is, and then the reset comes through. I'll be back looking very nice. What is he going to buy with all that money? I'm hoping that he starts building towards that Radiant Virtue.
Either a Radiant Virtue, we may see an early Bomby Cinder, depending on what he wants. Vexrax just trading autos here, though. Early on, did take the back. What are we going to get out of the Zac?
Yeah, I love that you called the Ashe support, and it's really, Vexrax is looking nasty on this thing.
This thing's dirty.
Yeah, just solo bolo, basically owning this lane right now. But, I mean, it's just taking advantage of the timidness of Critical Nugs and Crazy Dog. They're playing they're getting abused by a solo Ashe. Just like both of you just auto her.
30
you can
CS
both auto her.
7 minutes into the game.
And a plate, looking to make it 2 plates right now here for Arcadius. So, if you're Arcadius, you're very, very happy with the Severe. You're looking pretty good right now.
Vexrax is just dominating this lane right now, and Arcadius is absolutely the beneficiary.
Absolutely.
Already Critical Nugs chucked out by that Boomerang Blade, and the Howling Gale just going to be trying to put a little bit of pressure. Meanwhile, though, Hopium has invaded down bot side. This bot lane has to lead.
Yep, they can't. This bot tower is gonna like be annihilated pre 15 minutes, and then we're gonna see just like full dragon control here for KNP, which is great because they don't really want to be bot side, seeing as I'll be back is kind of putting the herd on 4,000 IQ right now. But the bot side of the map,
IQ doing his best at least to keep farm even. Meanwhile, we do see the side of KNP having those CS advantages in every other lane right now.
yeah, we need to unlock Hexify and send him into that top lane. That's what I'd like to see right now. He's having a little bit of a struggle here against Gran Torino to get the push, but hopefully that can change soon.
Absolutely. SD Argo just in the mid lane, trying to help push this out, as he knows that his mid laner, low on mana, needs to be able to crash this wave and take it back.
Yeah, great stuff from SD Argo. We're seeing a much more proficient performance this game around.
There's the Let's Bounce again. 4,000 IQ tries to get the all-out, is able to pop that, get the extended range on that footwork to get himself out of danger. Does have those Intofo strikes buffed up right now, but I'll be back. Plenty of health, not worried in the slightest about what's going on. There is the stretching strike into the elastic slingshot, and the auto's coming out. There's the pull in off the stretching strikes, but those grass procs coming in clutch for 4,000 IQ, get themselves a bit of extra damage and a bit of healing.
Yeah, Bach has to be careful. If he gets too caught up under the tower there, he could be in for some trouble, especially with Gran Torino on the rotation. But Bach is going to wisely back off, force Gran Torino back into lane. Hopium lurking in the bushes right now. SD Argo not too far behind. Some action is about to pop up in the bot lane, and KNP have the advantage.
Chunking people, running them down. SD Argo is here though. Pops the Cyclone. Vexrax forced to flash away. Hopium comes in. Massive leap. Flash into the 3-man blooming blows, and they're going to be able to take out Critical Nugs, who tries to dash in with that killer instinct for the extra shield, but it is not enough for him to live. Beautiful play by Hopium there.
Yeah, way too aggressive. You have a Doran Blade and a Noon Quiver. You are not killing that. You are not killing Vexrax in any universe. But that flash forward from Hopium was great stuff. Picked up only a single kill, but does get Dragon Control, which will be on the map in just a few seconds here. And undoubtedly going over to KNP SD Argo, picking up the scraps here in the bot lane.
Absolutely. Hexify just trying to do his best right now to chunk out mid and sustain through and push out this wave. Already down 30 CS, though, never what you like to see, especially into Cass, who's already going to outscale you.
Yeah, that's rough. And I mean, Hexify was one of those, the player that we were kind of trying to watch this game to look to establish some kind of lead in this mid lane. But on the flip side, Gran Torino already has a tier stacked up to almost 200, Catalyst of Aeons also coming through. So the Rod is going to be finished. You really want to finish your Rod at around the 12-minute mark. That's like the ideal Rod timing. And I believe he's going to clear this wave, reset, and potentially finish that puppy off. But no, still looking to get a little bit more gold here is Gran Torino in the mid lane. But once that comes through, that's going to be pretty brutal there for Hexify.
Retching Trex pulls 4,000 IQ back in. There's the Let's Bounce, close that distance with the Elastic Slingshot. There is the all-out, though, as the fight comes in, dashes through with that Pathmaker. Auto is just coming out from the Untopo strikes, using that max health damage that is now true damage thanks to being all out. But it looks like both of them just going to back up Chunk to about half health.
Yeah, Bramblevest's going to come in very, very early. Great buy against Zach. Going to reduce a lot of that healing, make those trades go a little bit better, and it's already working out for him. He's got a bit of a life lead here in the bot lane in the 1v1, pushing the wave in, but CS is otherwise even. Now, SC Argo, a lot of ganks getting off, but is falling behind CS, already 2 camps down. But Hexify looking for some action in the mid lane.
Absolutely. Arrows coming in mid. It's going to land, sidestep by Hexify.
Nice
Enchanted
moves.
Crystal Arrow coming out of base. That thing gets to such a low cooldown that we're going to see Vexrax throwing that out on cooldown, basically.
So here's my thing. I actually don't like the cross-map plays. Like, sure, it could be big, splashy, super impactful. You stun somebody for like 3 seconds and they're basically instantly dead. But you're in a bot lane matchup where they're already like getting kind of rolled. That's just like a free dive every single time that arrow's off cooldown. You bring Hopium down, you press R. That's
adds
a free dive.
insult to injury.
Absolutely, but now you have to wait. You have to. You got a pretty substantial cooldown on that. A minute-long cooldown, but that is coming up off pretty.
I was gonna say, you say pretty substantial. It's already almost back up.
Yeah, never mind. They must have reduced the cooldown on that thing because yeah, it's already back up.
4,000 IQ though uses that Pathmaker to get out. The Cyclone comes in, going to be walking out. Dashes to the minion with that footwork, gets himself to safety. Cyclone Part 2 comes out. 4,000 IQ, though, safe under his tower.
Is he safe, though? He's looking pretty low. He's got, what, about 500 HP right now? 600 HP, but SC Argo's like, I don't want to dive to something. That seems like it could be a risky business. And Bach is going to just walk away, take a free reset, but that bot
There's
lane
the
tower
arrow. Lands on to Critical Nugs, flashes over the Howling Gale, forces out the flash of Critical Nugs alongside that Monsoon.
Hopium was there ready to roll, but the bowling ball does not land while the arrow does. Flash is going to get forced out. Bot tower down before 15 minutes. Dragon unlocked. The script is being read as we speak by KNP. Now that mid lane just needs to go down, and they are going to rotate. Undoubtedly,
Gran Torino is here. There is no clone available for SD Argo. He has already used the Warrior Trickster, just trying to dodge around. Picks up that Herald at least. We see Hexify has rotated in as well. SD Argo gets picked up by the all-out. That will be a kill for 4,000 IQ. Trying to flash away and get himself out, but I'll be back. Follows that up with a flash of his own. Is able to take that down. Spell Shield comes out by Arcadius to block the stretching strikes that would have gotten the pull-in. I'll be back trying to get himself out of there. Uses the Elastic Slingshot and barely gets over the wall. Does still have the blobs available. The arrow lands, pops into his blobs. Arcadius and friends are here to clean it up. That is a kill on to I'll be back as Gran Torino picks it up. A kill for Cassidon is not what the side of Neon Knights wants to see.
Yeah, I was about to say, if Bach can make it out of that one, which he almost did, then that would have been super worth it. Would have been a 1-for-1 plus Rift Herald going over to the side of NK, but that extra kill does lend a little bit of padding over to the side.
SD Argo's going in, uses the Warrior Trickster in the Nimbus Strike, gets the auto off. The Cyclone comes in, dashing in with the Killer Instinct by Critical Nugs, takes down Vexrax. They're looking to get onto Arcadius now, but the tower takes down 2. They dive too deep, and Gran Torino is here looking to pick up one for himself as he's on to Crazy Dog. You may as well face your death now, as in comes the Rift Walk.
That's the end of it. Force Pulse is going to be enough to pick up the kill. And we saw Crazy Dog flashing forward into the tornado, trying to be a engaged support? What if that was
I wonder
just like
what could have fit better instead of this Shanna.
know.
In this mid lane, just trading with these blooming blows, getting themselves that % max HP damage on has the Conqueror stack, and a bit of healing. No mana available, so it looks like I'll be back just going to Elastic Slingshot himself out of danger.
Yep, Arcadius and Vexrex moving into the mid lane now. They want to knock this tower down to give them that full dragon control. Once mid and bot tier 1s are down, you have easy access to bot side jungle, which means warding is much easier, which means taking dragons is much easier. It's a cascading effect. It's 3D chess. You gotta see 3 plays ahead if you want to be hanging with the big boys up in the Unstoppable League. And that is exactly what KNP are doing. They are setting themselves up for success as the Hex Drake spawns, and is going to be a Hex Drake soul this game.
Absolutely.
Gonna get
You
popped
see
in the
that
mid lane.
Herald popped mid. Going to see if they can get anything off this. Just a charge into the tier 1 is what they're hoping for. Charge comes in and gets it.
Yeah, and that's not quite worth the 300 gold that they went down during that play when Bach died. So, at the end of the day, it is going to be a gold deficit there from that play for side of NK. NK down 5k gold right now, and they are trying to make this happen, but they are going to be in the
Torino, though, looking to go in. He pops the Force Pulse, is able to chunk out Hexify. He's looking to chase. There's a flash followed by that Riftwalk. Takes him down. Solo kill topside. Meanwhile, the fight around this dragon has begun. Critical Nugs looking to step up with SD Argo. The arrow comes out, lands onto Crazy Dogs. Cyclone in by SD Argo, looking to chunk out the backline. Arcades trying to do his best to get off of it. Is able to peel himself back. Is able to live. There's the all-out, taking Critical Nugs over the wall, dashing through with that Pathmaker. The Intopla strikes ripping through the team. Crazy Dogs is next on the menu. There's the knockback through the blast cone. Hopium is in the area, though. Pick up 2 as they take down I'll Be Back and Crazy Dog.
There's the cross-map ace as they clean up the fight. 4 for 0 in the dragon fight with a 1v1 solo kill in the top lane. KMP establishing dominance over this game. The dive comp comes through. Janna forced to watch back in abject horror as her team dives into their deaths. Of course, 4,000 IQ forcing Critical Nugs over the wall and out, using the all-out. Unfortunate. Not able to pick up the kill. If Critical Nugs had been able to do some havoc in that backline, might have been able to kill up Arcadius and Vexrex, maybe equalize the fight, maybe take some of that damage out, but the composition is too strong. The team play is too strong.
Gran Torino wants this blue.
Gran Torino is in. He's going to force them off. The blue is going to take it for himself, while Critical Nugs grabs the red in the bot lane and goes to farm, but
they're not wanting to give up this blue. Gran Torino is backing up as there are 3 people in this area right now, saying, you know what, I'm strong. Am I 1v3 strong? Let's find out. He steps up, going to sidestep off of that Elastic Slingshot. No pullback off the Stretching Strike. And just going to be able to secure the blue in the end is SD Argo. Something to note, Gran Torino has hit that big power spike. He does have his 2 items, going to Rift Walk away. Has the Seraphs and that Rod of Aegis completed. Rod still stacking. He's 3 levels away from the game hitting midnight as he hits level 16.
Yeah, so KMP are kind of in this awkward kind of growth stage.
Critical Nugs, right now. You may be in trouble here.
Oh no.
Force the flash away. Able to walk it out in the end, though. Arrow just misses onto Critical Nugs.
Yeah, so there's about a minute lull here where KNP actually don't really have a whole lot to do. They can take some light jungle counter, but there's not, they can't take an objective. Baron isn't spawning for another 40 seconds. Dragon's already down. All the outers are down. They're way ahead of schedule right now, so they're just waiting for the train to arrive. And that train, of course, being the big purple man himself, Baron Nashor in the top side of the jungle. They are just waiting 30 seconds for that spawn to come in. They are 10k up. They have everything they need to win the game. We're just kind of waiting for a mistake at this point. And I mean, it looks like at NK, they have a dive option. So they have a potential to get onto Arcadius and Vexrex and maybe clean up the back line. But Gran Torino is solo killing the sideline. If he shows up to team fights, he's also going to be super threatening. Like you said, he is cresting grabbing all that CS, moving closer and closer towards 16, 14.
Crazy Dog's looking into this. There is the elastic slingshot, barely catches him. Exhaust comes out, he's going to stay in the bot lane, but meanwhile, bot lane, SDR going to Hexafire onto 4,000 IQ, has the Pathmaker in, gets knocked up by that Cyclone, goes all out. There's the Infoplo strike onto 2 with the knockup, tries to dash in, but the Cyclone will take him down as SDR shuts down 4,000 IQ.
It takes a full 3 rotation, which means Baron is on the menu right now as Hopium starts it up along with Arcadius and Vexrax. Gran Torino playing bounce around blue buff, looking for Crazy Dog, is going to get spotted reward. It's the end.
Crazy Dog, the Rift Walk over, pops the Monsoon to try and run away, burns the Flash as well. This is a Kassadin, my friend. That is Rift Walk, but the TP comes in mid lane. Hexify trying to come to his support's aid will stop Gran Torino from marching further. Instead, Gran Torino is just going to dive onto Critical Nugs, use that Netherblade to restore some mana, and just in a great position as Kassadin right now. It's Crazy Dogs and Critical Nugs forced back.
So I suppose NK had their crystal ball open when they chose Janet in that draft, because any other champion would have been absolutely dead to Rise, but the Queen of Disengage is able to...
Gran Torino looking to get on the SDR here, just going to walk away, does not have vision on any of his opponents, so he's just going to play it safe. We do see, meanwhile, Lilia just picked up that Jack shows, meaning she's going to be doing damage and not taking damage. Just what you love to see out of champions.
Yeah, Demonic Embrace and Jack Show, that is a very, very tanky Lilia who's going to be able to be very annoying in these fights, running people down. But we are just waiting for the Baron pushes to come in at this point. We can 1-4. Unfortunately, Cassante did not get that Baron. I believe he did not. Let me just double check. Yeah, he did not. He did die.
That time, but I'll be back. Already chunked out. Gran Torino has to Rift Walk over the wall. Going to try to escape. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands on the phone. That is the Seraph Shield pop, but look at his team. He's here to stay. This Lilithing Lullaby takes down one as Hopium's running through this team and just shredding Hexify and Crazy Dog trying to run away, but look who's here. It's Gran Torino as he's going to Rift Walk straight through this team. Flash Rift Walk onto the backline. There is the Null Sphere for the silence. Netherwalk just in, trying to get the Force Pulse to slow and take some damage there. He's got one more still in his eyes as Janna is just waiting for death at the moment. She sees it coming. She's trying to escape. Looks like she actually may stay under the tower for a bit, and somehow she's the one left alive for now.
Grant's but Vexrax doesn't want to let go. Yeah.
Meanwhile, 4,000 IQ sieging top side, chunking out this tower. SDR are looking to dash in with that Nimbus Strike. Looks like everybody's just going to back away as they're going to instead focus in getting themselves this Hex Tech Soul.
Yeah, this has been a pretty clinical game here so far.
Away, 4,000 IQ, maybe in trouble here. He has 2 people on him. Gets that Nimbus Strike to dodge to the side as he is going to go all out to try and pull him back. As things are just going to be ripped apart, he will fall instead to all be back as Zach picks up yet another kill.
So 4 out of 6 of NK's kills have been
Gran Torino just absolutely
not this time.
Crazy Dog says you can't escape every time. Takes her down relatively easily.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. You may get away from this Kassadin twice, but the 3rd time you are absolutely going to be put into the dirt. But Cassante dying 4 out of 6 times here. Overextending just a little bit too much is 4,000 IQ and getting punished for it just a little bit there. But for the most part, the rest of the game...
5,000 means you have what you need to close out the game. 10,000 means, aside from a throw, you're in the clear. What does 15,000 mean?
15,000 means, pray. God, only God can save you now. Divine intervention at this point.
I don't think God can save Critical Nugs right now, as he just gets shredded by Arcadius and Vexrax.
Oh my gosh, that's support damage right there.
Oh, Arcadius and Hopium are on to SD here, ripping through. Nimbus Strike back and gets to knock up under tower. Is actually going to trade with that Cyclone.
I mean, it's a drop in the ocean, but eventually with enough drops you will have an ocean and potentially can make a comeback, but it's not looking super great. Vexrax and Hopium siege up the bot lane.
Hexify looking to get into Vexrax, lands the Ethereal Chains, is not going to take her down just yet. There's the Sigil of Malice, not enough as he's trying to run away as in comes Gran Torino. The raid boss is here. He's dashing, he's rift walking. I'll be back trying to peel him down.
Oh my god.
He's going. That's 2. That's another taken down. That's 3 for Gran Torino as Hopium takes out 1 as well. Every member is down. SD Argo's come alive just to see his team fall as they're about to siege into this bot lane tier 3 right now. 4,000 IQ is already onto him, knocking him back with that Pathmaker. All out back into the team, pulling him back in with his own Topho strikes. He will eat a tower shot and just be unkillable to him. Gran Torino trying to shove in this mid lane right now as they're just taking inhibitors at the moment, and this is complete domination.
Yeah, it's going to be over pretty soon here. KNP have done everything they need to win the game. They are just waiting at this point for the final push here. I think we are probably witnessing the final moments of this game. Vexrax is taking quite well.
Oh! Critical Nugs just dives in, is able to take down Vexrax, but that may be his own death, as here comes Gran Torino. The elastic slingshot into the back by I'll Be Back, pulls in Hopium alongside Gran Torino, but he's just melting. That aftershock is not enough to keep him alive. Gran Torino is not able to be stopped. Critical Dog's able to get that knockup with that knockup of the Howling Gale. In goes SD Argo with that Cyclone, able to knock up, gets taken out by Gran Torino as well. Gran Torino just dive into the towers. There's the Force Pulse in, gets that knock up, is able to dive into the fountain and falls as well. Arcadius though takes down Crazy Dogs. Hexify, the last man standing, sees his Nexus falling, sees the game and the series coming to an end, as in rather dominant fashion, our number 2 seed, KNP, take a clean 2-0 victory over Neon Knights.
500 gold shy of a 20k gold lead when it is all said and done, proving why they are the 2nd seed. KNP, Gran Torino, and friends absolutely roll over NK. That Cassidy was terrifying.
So 15k is Prey. They just got to 20k. What's that?
At that point, you're like in another dimension. You're speaking with alien life forms that can't even. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with that metaphor, but
it's gotten to the point where it's just too much to handle. Gran Torino, phenomenal game, 11-2-5 to end it out in the end. 30k damage, the most on his team by far, most gold in the game. This was an absolute slaughter. The only person on the side of Neon Knights that had more than the support of KNP was SD Argo.
Yeah, if you're watching this game and you're in the bracket, you're going to want to pay attention to the weaknesses and the strengths here from KNP. The Cassante from 2000 IQ, a little bit over aggressive. Also, when 4000 IQ was on the oh my gosh, my brain is turning off. Gwen, a few mishaps here and there that caused him to be a lot closer than it could be. So potentially some over-aggression issues in that top lane for other teams to maybe exploit later on in the bracket. But other than that, looking pretty solid overall. That bot lane is terrifying. Vexrax, I'm going to give the MVP to Vexrax that game. Sure, Gran Torino did what Cassidy does and runs over, but Vexrax more or less bought so much space for Arcadius to completely come online. Every single objective was a foregone conclusion.
Dominated that bot lane early on, was zoning off 2v1 at the start of the lane, saying, you can't step up. I'm an Ashe with Hail of Blades. You try and step up, there goes half your health. And with that, Arcadius was just able to take that lane advantage, just able to master a 30 CS lead by about 7 minutes into the game. It was absolute domination down there, and Vexrax was absolutely the early game focus of what let Arcadius get ahead, and Gran Torino was just there to clean house come late. Absolutely. With that, we're going to head right on back to our analyst desk as we had our 2-0 for the day.
Thank you so much for handing it over. That's some great casting, Bicko and Might. Yeah, one-sided game. Not even anything close. Do you have anything to say, King?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw tonight why the creativity that is double bot lane ranged has become so dominant in pro play. Because I think it all started in the bot lane where the Ashe just gave so much lane agency to the Lilia and the Kassadin that even though Kassadin got early ganked early and the Wukong was able to take the red buff, Kassadin, first of all, is just chilling with 30 CS lead mid in a lane that he shouldn't have that kind of lead in without flash at that. And then the Ashe just gave so much control to that lane where the Janna just couldn't do anything. So that's why, again, we all questioned the Janna pick, because it doesn't offer you anything, especially into double range champs, and you're playing a short range AD carry like Kaisa. So I just felt like that was the main takeaway: is you see why in pro play and everywhere else across the world why double AD carry balling is the meta right now, because it just offers you so much lane prio.
As I said before the game, I do think that Neon Knights needed to prioritize that bot lane. Like, during that game, we did that level 2 gank mid. Beautiful. I was like, okay, this game's going to be close. But then Wukong went top lane. Like, I don't think Wukong went bot once until level 8 where Lilia counter ganked, and that was really, really bad. But I do think that the Wukong definitely needed to go bot lane instead of top lane. Like, that Zac is not going to carry the game. So why are we top lane four times below 15?
Yeah, and the Zac did his job, right? I mean, like, he was the tank, and he also solo killed the Cassante like twice, I'm pretty sure. So, like, he doesn't really need help. I think getting the early flash off Cassin is huge, and it needs to be punished more. Whether it's just identifying, this is where, like, you could tell they're just an early growth, right? It's the first week of the season, coming in off playing in play-ins. Like, when you have a matchup and a champion that just completely dictates the game later in the game, you need to punish that as hard as possible when you get that advantage. So as soon as you take that flash off Cassidy, you got to go there with your jungler, you got to go there with a support, and we're just spam ganking that thing. If you don't want to gank bot lane because it's a double range and you don't have vision control for it, that's fine. You need to punish that. You need to punish that mid lane. You need to be able to shut down that Cassidy so he can't just freely scale into the game, and let your win condition essentially in the LeBlanc have a chance to actually play the lane. Because after the level 2, level 3 invade where they fight for the red, it was the lane was perma frozen under Cassidy, and LeBlanc couldn't do anything the entire time. So it was really rough for her.
Exactly. And then LeBlanc, other than that level 3, as you said, she never left mid lane. Like, she never roamed bot. When that bot lane, Sivir and Ash was pissed up constantly. And then I don't know if you saw, the Janna didn't get her support upgrade to 24 minutes in. And that is crazy. And Janna's using her tornadoes on the Sivir instead of the Ass. Like, at Sivir, bot lane is oppressive, yes. But you just full engage on the Ass. Just bring down your Wukong, bring down your LeBlanc also. And you just, dive it. I said dive it. They didn't do it. It upsets me. But it is what it is.
I just think it's a team that's just more coordinated and more understanding of what's going on with the meta and how to play out their meta, while the other team just feels like they're kind of playing just more comfort, more solo queue style, and they need to just build up to that point where they can play these picks and make sense of them and then make them work in a comp. Because holistically, the comp makes sense outside of the Jenna, and it makes sense and it works, but they're not able to get those lane advantages, much less the team to get to those team fights where you can use those champions to their best. So, but yeah, like that's it for today. We really appreciate you guys coming in and watching the games today. We'll be back next week for week 2 of the Unstoppable games, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Is the Seraph Shield pop, but look at his team, is here to stay. This little team Lullaby takes down one, as Hopium's running through this team and just shredding Hexify and Crazy Dog trying to run away, but look who's here, it's Gran Torino, as he's going to Rift Walk straight through this team, flash Rift Walk onto the backline. There is the Null Sphere for the Silence. Netherwalk just in, trying to get the Force Pulse to slow and take some damage there. He's got one more still in his eye. Not yet there, but pops the Hallowed Mist. A little... I'll be back running away, but look what's up now. It is the Needlework. There's the first cast. Second cast flashed away from. He's going to take both of them here. There's the auto dash in with the skip and slash. And the last cast of the Needlework will take down.
Try 2v1.
I probably need like a 5v1. Hexify's going in, glance the Shuriken flip. Just going to get a bit of damage off. Trying to dash out in this Twilight Shroud. Has to Proto Belt away, but there's the Needlework. Autos under tower, tries to dash away. There's the Shuriken flip back in. The Hallowed Mist is popped.
Oh my god.
Note just autoing down. Forced to flash away. There's the perfect execution. Back in for the massive shutdown. Apparently the side of Neon Knights was listening to what we had to say.
They're listening.
You think we lands onto Vexrex, forced to flash away. There is the On the Hunt pop, TP coming in behind. Infinite Duress pop in, lands the CC. Hexify's getting some kills. There's the perfect execution continuing. Lands the Shuriken flip. He's on, gets the kill on Arcades, but 4,000 IQ's here. The Needlework takes down Critical Nugs.
Oh.
Gran Torino is in trouble. Has to walk away off that crystallized wall.
Yeah.
But here comes the Needlework, already into the backline, shredding through Morgana. But meanwhile, forced away. There's the snip. Vexrex goes down as well. A flash over the wall by Arcadius, lands with that Featherstone and the Blade Caller. I'll be back. He seems to be next to the board. Has to go all out. Blade Caller comes in. Does fall, though, too. I'll be back, as this damage of Cassante is nothing to scoff at. But 4,000...
They're doing it on top of Scuttler. They say...
There's the TP coming in from 4,000 IQ, and I'll be back. We're going to get a big team fight here, possibly.
Yeah, they cannot.
Solar Flare goes wide, no follow-up. There's Zenith Blade not coming in, but there is the Shuriken Flip back into the team. Massive Glacial Prism onto 4,000 IQ. He's chunked out immediately. There's the Needlework. There goes down off the perfect execution. That's the most fed member of KNP already down as the side of Neon Knights looks to chase. Flash, Finding goes wide, no follow-up there. There come the Feathers coming out. Blade Caller roots that there. Dark Binding goes wide. That'll just be a 1-for-0, but 4,000
witnessing right now, this could be disastrous for NK.
Absolutely. Dark Binding does land there. SD Argo going in, stuns out Warwick there. Dragon has been leaked. Big Bad Bone Run's already out. 4,000 IQ though in the backline, annihilates the Morgana and the Sivir, just melting through this team. That's a triple kill already. They're on for a Quadra. They're looking for it. They're on to Hexify right now. Unfortunately, they fall. Vexrex though and Gran Torino all up. Flash Zenith Blade will lead to the shutdown by Gran Torino. That's a Quadra kill to 4,000 IQ. Own dad, and he's just getting melted possibly. He will fall to Critical Nugs in the end off of that collapse. 2 TPs there. Hexify's looking to go in there. Has popped the first execution. Vexrex is next on the table. He gets stunned off that permafrost. Hexify, though, has to dash away out of that storm, but look who's here. It's 4,000 IQ. They have the Needlework up. They are just dashing through with the snip. There's a triple. There's a Quadra again. 2 Quadras on this game for the side.
One good combo from 4,000 IQ is going to pop the self-vision, the passive there. And also crashing
mid lane, though, we do see a little action coming in as the Sigil is there. Ignite not available because it's not taken. Flash for flash. Gran Torino barely living. We do see Lilia at the end. He lives barely, but it doesn't look over yet. There's the Nimbus strike to the crushing blow as SD Argo picks up first blood. Running them down. SD Argo is here though. Pops the Cyclone. Vexrex forced to flash away. Hopium comes in. Massive leap. Flash into the 3-man blooming blows, and they're going to be able to take out Critical Nugs, who tries to dash in with that killer instinct for the extra shield, but it is not enough for him to live. Beautiful play by Hopium there. Critical Nugs looking to step up with SD Argo. The arrow comes out, lands onto Crazy Dogs. Cyclone in by SD Argo, looking to chunk out the backline. Arcades trying to do his best to get off of it, is able to peel himself back, is able to live. There's the all-out, taking Critical Nugs over the wall, dashing through with that Pathmaker. The Intofo strikes ripping through the team. Crazy Dogs is next on the menu. There's the knockback through the blast cone. Hopium is in the area though. Pick up 2 as they take down all 15,000 mean.
15,000 means pray. God, only God can save you now. Divine intervention at this point.
I don't think God can save Critical Nugs right now, as he just gets shredded by Arcadius and Vexrex.
Oh my gosh, that's support damage right there.
Oh, Arcadius and Hopium are on to SD Argo here, ripping through. Nimbus strike back and gets to knock up under tower. Is actually going to trade with that Cyclone.
I mean,
get into Vexrex, lands the Ethereal Chains, is not going to take her down just yet. There's the Sigil of Malice, not enough as he's trying to run away as in comes Gran Torino. The raid boss is here. He's dashing. He's rift walking. I'll be back trying to peel him.
Oh my god.
He's going. That's 2. That's another taken down. That's 3 for Gran Torino as Hopium takes out 1 as well. Every member is down. SD Argo's come alive just to see Gran Torino just dive into towers. There's the Force Pulse in. Gets that knock up. Is able to dive into the fountain and falls as well. Arcadius takes down Crazy Dogs. Hexify, the last man standing, sees his Nexus falling, sees the game and the series coming to an end, as in rather dominant fashion, our number 2 seed, K&P, take a clean 2-0 victory over Neon Knights.